Hey folks, my name is Ginger Zumaeta. I'm CEO of Motive3, and we just got this 2022 ROI report from Nielsen about marketing spend. And there were a couple of things in there that sort of were counterintuitive, kind of opened our reality up into some new insights. So we wanted to share them with you. Now, bottom line is this is a big report. It's quite a few pages. So what we've done is we've pulled out the couple of things for our clients and the folks that we advise that we think are most important and distilled them into our own report. So without further ado, here is the most important headline. Scared money doesn't make money. What they found was effectively, and this took me a minute to kind of figure out, 50% of media channel investments are too low to have any sort of return on investment, like for maximum payback. I should not say that, not for any return, for maximum return on investment. Now, how low are they? They're about 50% too low. So 50% of investments is too low by 50%. And if you were spending the optimal amount of money per channel, which is different for different things, your ROI could jump 50% with the optimal spend. Huge insight. So, one of the things that we often do, myself included, have advised clients, hey, let's start out with kind of like a starter, a pilot budget. If we see some good results, then we can certainly ramp it up. And it turns out that information just may not be true. With a lower budget, you may never get to that point where you're really kind of seeing the ROI that you want to see, versus if you spent more and you kind of cut through the clutter, you could be doing a lot better. So that was a huge insight. Okay, the next big insight for us is, where are the strongest opportunities for growth? Well, what was interesting is that the strongest opportunity for growth was actually in display, right? About 60% of display investments are underinvested, right? And they're underinvested by 62%. So if display is a place that you're doing, and it's important to you, you probably want to up that budget, which means you may need to pull from some others. But there's a very strong opportunity for growth in display. The other thing that they actually found out, sort of the runner-up, if you will, was in digital video, right? With a lot of our clients, we're really leaning into digital video. Just FYI for that, digital video, 66% of plans are uninvested there by about 52%. We're very bullish on digital video. This is a video right now. This isn't a marketing video, but video is what's going on. It's easy to execute. It doesn't have to be perfect. We always say, progress over perfection. So encourage folks to get into video. Also, FYI, the full report was really on the global view, but we're looking specifically at North America, and ironically, more plans were underinvested in North America than any place else. Maybe that's because we have so many marketing and media opportunities. It's easier to be underinvested. Okay, the next big key of ours was that there are some new areas, not traditional marketing, that have some of the greatest upside for brand recall. Now we're not talking about conversion marketing, but brand recall is going to lift all boats. I'll get to that in a minute. Podcasts. Outstanding. They're actually relatively easy to purchase sponsorships for podcasts because there's networks that you can buy. But podcasts produce 71% aided brand recall, meaning people are like, oh yeah, I remember those guys. And so that's really important. In fact, podcast listeners are much more likely to research brands, and that gives you an opportunity to have a more meaningful and engaged conversation. Influencer and branded content are also outstanding for aided recall, as you see 80% and 82% each, and those have a greater familiarity gain. Now, those might be a little bit harder to execute. So they've got great upside potential if you can make it work. Might be a little bit harder to get started with, which is why we're really excited about podcasts. Okay, next big insight. Well, targeting. Improving your targeting and your reach metrics for your specific audience is going to drive results, right? So you really need to understand very keenly who your unique and specific audience is and where to reach them. It turns out, let me see, we had some research that 50 to 60%, oh, here we go, nearly 40% of US desktop and mobile ads don't reach their audience. And that's because they can be very big, not niche enough. So just be careful of overgeneralizing who your audience is and having a lot of waste there. Measuring is key. Okay, finally. Now for us at Motive 3, this is the most exciting, this is the most exciting slide, because the long and short of it is that you've got to optimize both your long and short-term strategies. Upper funnel. These are the channels that are going to drive awareness. These might be more traditional channels. This might be things like display. They're not necessarily trying to get a conversion right at that moment. They're building awareness and preference for your brand. They're letting people engage with you in content, other things to kind of to have people get to know you. Those are really important for long-term results. Lower funnel drives sales. This is your pay-per-click. This is your direct marketing. This is things that are very focused on grabbing a lead, converting that lead, et cetera, et cetera. Now, most channels don't work for the full funnel. Pay-per-click is great for kind of getting conversions or getting leads. It's not great necessarily for building awareness. So you've got to just bear in mind that you need to be working both ends of the funnel, and they're probably going to be in different channels. So don't concentrate all of your media spend in one channel. Balancing them is key to future brand growth. Basically, as you build your brand awareness, as you build consideration and preference, you will see your long-term opportunities for sustainability and growth coming through. So that's really important. Okay, let me see. Any other keys? That's basically it. It's easier to convert customers in the future when you invested in brand building. So stick with that content, stick with the video, get that stuff going. That's basically building your future while you're also working your lower funnel activities. Okay, this was super insightful. We do brand. We help companies with brand, and a lot of people are like, I need sales, right? I don't need brand awareness. However, 1 point increase in brand awareness and consideration. In other words, people just knowing who you are, and we know that the way that happens is you have to differentiate, right? You've got to be different than your competitors in order to get brand awareness. 1 point increase in brand awareness correlates to a 1% increase in sales, and, which is over here, here's my little pointer, here, and a 1% decrease in short-term acquisition costs, right? So getting that brand awareness up is really important. Finally, just a big wrap up is basically invest in your media marketing, but make sure you're putting enough into it to see the result, right? So I would suggest if your budgets are limited, you need to kind of think about raising your budget in a single channel versus spreading it across multiple channels. And then on your second one, make sure you've got one upper funnel activity and one lower funnel activity at a minimum. Experiment with new media. Podcasts can be great for branded recall, right? Also things like television, out of home, stuff like that. Make sure your target is tight and that your ads are reaching your target. And that's all about measurement and making sure that you're tracking your metrics all along. And then finally, what we think is most important is you have to balance the funnel. Not everything happens at the lower end of the funnel. If you stay in the lower end of the funnel, you're just going to be stuck there arbitraging leads and inquiries in a very kind of hand-to-hand combat way. But if you can increase the brand awareness of your company or your brand, overall, that's going to lift all boats. So this was a great report. We hope this was helpful to you. If you want the full report, let us know. We'll be happy to share that. You can also Google Nielsen and download it for free there if you want to give them your email address. But really good stuff, and hope this was helpful.